All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, December 13th edition of the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, here on Mondays and Tuesdays at MMAOddsbreaker.com, joined by my co-host on Monday and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern now. That's the new time of the show. Mr. Big Marcel. Marcel, man, what's going on?
Hi, what's up, man? All good. Looking forward to talk some MMA with you, obviously. So, everything is good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good, Marcel. It was actually my first day at my new job today, guys,
Yeah.
with bookies officially. I've been freelancing for a couple months, but full-time employee now. So today was a lot of like training, getting contracts signed, stuff like that. So it's been a long day, but man, I cannot wait to talk about this fight with you. And one of the best things about my new job is they let me keep some of my MMA stuff, including this podcast, which is awesome. So we'll still be here, me and Marcel, Mondays and Tuesdays going forward. Let's just get into the card, Marcel, because there's so much to talk about. Now, there was obviously a lot of fights that we expected to kind of play out the way they did, but a lot of stuff that happened that was pretty crazy. Let's start with the main event, as we always do, work our way down. So, Marcel, like the last little bit, it's been kind of a tough stretch for me with picks, but like this is one of my best cards I've had in a while, and one of the best picks I made was Oliveira over Poirier. I told you, man, if you can get him to the ground, he was done. I'm going to submit him. How easily Khabib took him down with the body lock takedowns, it reminded me very similar of what Oliveira does. So that's the reason I picked him in the fight. It was sketchy as hell. The first round was sketchy. I mean, he got dropped, right? So that was a tough one. But again, like I said last week, Marcel, this is not the same Charles Oliveira. You can't look back at his fights like, for instance, when he fought Cub Swanson. I was at that fight. It was 9 years ago. He quit in that fight. He's quitting a few fights against, Holloway too. It's not the same guy. This is a completely different guy now. And this version of Oliveira is one of the most dangerous lightweights you've ever seen. 10 straight wins, Marcel. 10 straight wins. And 9 of those wins are by stoppage in his win streak. The only one that he didn't stop, only guy he didn't stop was Ferguson, who, like, his arm, I think, snapped and he just didn't tap out. So, I mean, for me, it's just unbelievable what this guy's doing. And I'm glad I stopped sleeping on him a couple fights ago because for a while there, I honestly didn't believe in him, but I did pick him in his last 2 fights because when he beat Ferguson, I get it. Ferguson's not the same guy either, but the way he beat him, Marcel, that's when I knew this guy was like turned a page. And since then, he's looked unbelievable against Chandler and Poirier. So he's the legitimate champion, guys. And I'm pretty sure he'll be a favorite, I would guess, against Gaethje. Give me your thoughts on the fight, man, because it was one hell of a fight for as long as it lasted. So give me your thoughts on it, Marcel.
The funny thing for me is that people are saying, like, where are those comments coming from that Charles Oliveira is a quitter? It comes from years ago, and I don't say he's not that like that anymore, but people who are asking that are probably only following MMA for 3 years or something, because then you don't understand why people say that. Watch some old fights back. I mean, first round, Poirier did very well, had Charles in trouble, pretty much like Chandler had Charles in trouble, and Charles came back again, second round, clear win or clear round for Charles. Poirier was very, how do you say that, very hesitant, didn't want to do anything, didn't want to give his back on the ground, so he was pretty much stalling the fight there, in my opinion, and Oliveira won that second round. Third round, you say he would get him to the ground. Let's be honest, man, he didn't even need to get him to the ground.
He didn't even get a takedown, which is crazy. He just took his back.
Yeah, he took his back, standing rear naked choke, so very impressive over Dustin Poirier. And the thing is, listen, man, I picked Poirier, but I'm kind of happy as well for Oliveira because people were saying, like, he's just a title holder at this moment, the belt holder for Poirier, who's the real champion. Charles Oliveira showed on Saturday that he is the real champion, He overcame adversity again, and again he won via stoppage, this time via submission, but he showed he is the real champion, and he should get the respect from the fans that he is the real champion.
I mean, I hope he gets it now. But he's got a tough fight coming up ahead of him with Justin Gaethje, and Dustin and Justin, they're kind of similar in some ways, but they're different in others. This is definitely an interesting fight. I think it's the next fight. It's not official, but
should be.
It sure seems like that's what's going to happen. So you got Charles, who's on a 10-fight win streak, Marcel. Gaethje coming off a win over Chandler. Interesting fight. Right now we have Oliveira minus 170 and Gaethje plus 145. Gaethje's won 5 of his last 6 fights. So it's an interesting fight, man. I don't know. I mean, like, I was on Oliveira in this one, but, Justin's a different fighter than Dustin. They're just different guys. But again, if he gets him to the ground, he's going to get tapped out, I think. That's the question, right?
The thing is, I said last week to you, if Oliveira has the same first round that he had against Chandler, against Poirier, he's probably going to be fucked. He had pretty much the same first round, but he went through it again. But with Gaethje has legit maybe twice, 3 times the knockout power Dustin Poirier.
That's what I'm saying. I think he does. Well, it's crazy because obviously Justin got knocked out by Dustin.
Yeah, I know.
Fought Marcel, but I feel like you're right. I think Justin actually has more like raw, especially more like one punch power, right?
More raw one punch power, and that's the thing, because if I think about the more complete fighter, I think Dustin is, in my opinion. But I think Gaethje is more of a specialist with the knockouts, So that's a very intriguing fight again.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So I mean, I'm hoping this fight happens in March, but I feel like it's probably going to be May. Probably that seems like they kind of do like that lightweight title halfway through the year. It's just that Charles didn't take much damage, though. Go ahead. Yeah.
I can't wait for somebody tweeting in the next couple of days, like Charles Oliveira going to defend his title against Justin Gaethje early 2022.
Yeah, like you're really telling us something. Let's get some comments. Hey, Daniel, what's up, man? Corey saying that McGregor fight nicely. Dude, I mean, Glenn, you're right, because it didn't matter that Dustin lost. They can still do the 4th fight. He's still going to make a buttload of money. So it's really not the worst thing in the world that he lost, because he's going to still make a lot of money. And I'll be honest with you guys, I love Dustin, but I think this year proved that, the money was more important to him than the title, because he chose that at first. He didn't have to fight Conor the 3rd time. I don't blame him. I mean, I would have did the same thing. I'm just saying, like, I like Dustin, but he's all the time he's like, oh, it's all about being a champion. That's all I care about. But it's not true, because he turned down a title shot for a money fight. So it's hard to get both, man. He gambled. The gamble almost paid off Marcel, but it didn't in the end. So because I think, well, it would have been Dustin and Charles anyways. He wouldn't. I don't even know if he would have won the first if they did it in May. But you never know. Things could have been different. Corey took no. Hey, boarding again. What's up, man? Justin made slightly more power than Poirier, not more powerful than Chandler, who Oliveira was able to KO when Gaethje wasn't. By the way, yeah. I mean, you're not going to find a bigger fan of Bronx and of Gaethje in me. So this is tough for me because I love both guys. It's just I got to think about this fight. We have so much time to think about it anyways. I mean, honestly, Marcel, again, how do you pick against Charles? But at the same time, Justin might be the guy because I don't know. There's something special with Justin too. So I don't know, man. It's a tough one. Hey, hi Ben, May, what's going on, man? He's here. He likes being able to catch a show. Glad you're here, buddy. Hey, JFM, what's up, man? Why isn't UFC booking already a Gillespie? I'm not sure. By the way, I'm pretty sure you're the guy who's always asking about Lucas Brzeski or whatever, the guy from the Contender Series. Well, he got tested positive for some like women's fertility drug or something, so he's out for 6 months. Yeah. Lucas. Okay. Yeah, go check on. I think Junkie's gone. I just saw that the news article. JFM Oliver turned down to fight Big Diaz because he wanted to fight for the belt. At the time, there was okay to Charles was going to be next. You're talking about what Diaz? Anyways, yeah. So overall, Marcel, I mean, it was a pretty great win for Oliver. Now, all right. So I obviously aced that fight. Now I didn't ace this fight, guys. Like I just, let's talk about the co-main event because again, it's one of those fights, Marcel, where it makes everything you think you know about the sport and turns it upside down. You know what I mean, Marcel? Like it's like we think we know everything about the sport. We think we know everything about the fighters. We think Amanda's going to easily wash Pena, and it was not like that at all. First round was Amanda Nunes controlling Julianna Pena, but the second round Marcel came around, and it's like she gassed out. She wasn't moving her head. She didn't. I felt like she didn't want to get knocked out, so she went to the ground and got finished and just tapped at the choke. That's honestly what I felt. I did feel like she quit in this fight a little bit, guys. It reminded me of when Conor fought Nate the first time. Like Conor was going to get knocked out, so instead he took the easy way out. We see this all the time in fights. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to think that's what's happening, but a lot of time it is. I'll give you an example. Ally Quinta, Bobby Green. Ally Quinta even said, "Hey, I wasn't actually hurt. I just didn't want to be in there anymore, so I turtled up and took the TKO." You know what I mean, Marcel? Like people will do that. Amanda just chose to get choked out. She didn't fight the choke. There was no hooks in the choke. It was a rear naked choke, but without the hooks in. I can't believe that the greatest women's fighter of all time tapped out to that. It was really bizarre. I just don't think she took Pena seriously. I don't think any of us really did, to be honest with you. I've always liked Pena. I always thought she was a good fighter, but I never thought she'd beat Amanda Nunes. I never thought that she would be champ by beating Amanda. So to me, this is a real head scratcher, Marcel. But again, it's why we love MMA because stuff like this happens, and it makes you just just love the sport even more. I still can't believe this happened. Give me your thoughts, man.
First of all, Dutch fans are upset that Nunes didn't fought Jermaine de Randamie like this, because if she did, she was going to be knocked out. But you got to be honest, man. In the first round, Nunes at a certain moment, she had Pena was like trying to grab her waist or something, and Nunes was like smiling to the side. A really weird moment there, and I feel like Nunes didn't have the cardio in the second round. She was completely gassed, and didn't.
Yep.
I can't even remember I see her like that. Maybe a few years ago, but not recently.
Yep.
So it was like, I don't know. The thing that I don't know what to think about it. It was good, well done by Pena. Obviously, great for her to get a win here, and huge upset. The only thing, and maybe I get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say it, the outrage on Twitter for the post-fight interview of Pena, man. I mean, guys, she was like, she said I'm the first mother in the UFC to become a champion that gave birth. And then people, the whole community, gonna go nuts. It's like, oh, Amanda Nunes was the first, and Pena's like, I gave birth to my child. Amanda didn't, and that doesn't mean that Amanda isn't a great mother. That's not what she meant. You know what I mean? But there's a difference if with physical. With the women, their body, they go through a phase with pregnancy and that kind of stuff, and they come back and they become a champion. It's different than when you don't, and there's nothing bad to say about that. I don't think it's a bad thing to say about it, but people make it much more than it is. By the way, I think we should see a rematch. Nunes did so much good for the division. I think she deserves a rematch. And I heard Pena talking about Shevchenko at flyweight. No, listen, if she wants to fight Shevchenko, we do it at 135. Valentina deserves a title shot at 135 more than Pena deserves it at 125.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the rematch has to happen, guys. Like, it has to. This is one of those instances where you just got to see it. It just has to happen because she had defended the title so many times before. It's not like Jan, where he had like one title defense and then they give him the shot. I'm just getting a tweet out. Hold on, sorry guys. So basically, like, I've always liked Pena. I'm gonna show you guys some stuff, which is crazy because I remember like seeing her Ultimate Fighter. So it's crazy because basically what happened was, let's see here. I'm going to show you guys some crazy tweets. So basically what happened was there was this party Toronto a few years ago, 2013, and look at this. I was talking about Baszler and Pena. So this was right before UFC 165 Jones and Gustafsson, the day before or 2 days before. We were at this party, and I talked to Sean Shelby. At the time, we were talking about this fight, and I was like, "Man, I can't believe she beat Shayna Baszler." And he was like, "I know, isn't it crazy?" I remember talking to Sean Shelby about this. This is the only time I've ever talked to him, by the way. And I couldn't believe it because to me that was such a big win at the time. So I've always liked her down. I've always liked her, man. I just can't believe she won the belt. But it's like, like 2013, I was saying, dominant, top 10. And then, you're talking about, look at this. Anyone else think Pena will contend for the belt in the next 2 years? This is 2013, guys. So I've been on her for a while. This is before Amanda Nunes became dominant. That's the crazy thing, Marcel. This is before Amanda was champ.
I know, yeah.
So it's just the sport moves so quickly, but sometimes I forget, how strongly I felt about someone years ago. And I always liked Julianna Pena, but I just didn't think she'd beat Amanda Nunes. I'm still blown away. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
And by the way, I agree with you, man. I also always liked Julianna, but I didn't pick her here. But the thing is, now we know why Dana didn't want to book the Amanda Nunes against Valentina Shevchenko fight. Now I know
maybe
why.
That's why. Let me get some comments here, guys. We got Ryan here. Hey, Ryan. Oh, I don't know why I can't click on that. Sorry about that, buddy. There we go. That's funny. So I'll talk about the Nunes thing too in a second. Let me give my thoughts on that. Born Again got some money. Yeah, I mean, Born Again, no one won on that fight. I'll tell you that right now. The books won, actually. The books did really well. Nunes looked very out of sorts, striking like, I know, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
her chin was right. Yeah, it was weird. Marcel, like, everyone was laughing at Cyborg when she got knocked out by Nunes. This felt like the same thing to me. But again, she didn't go under shield, guys. She went to the ground and turtled up and took a rear naked choke instead, which I don't blame her because she didn't take extra damage. But Marcel, she definitely wanted out of the fight. I mean, that's an example of someone wanting out of a fight. She wasn't going to win the fight, and she didn't want to take more damage, so she turtled up and lost. It was actually kind of sad to see, to be honest with you, Marcel.
She's going to lose 2 spots on the rankings, man. She's going to lose the bantamweight, obviously, the champion spot, and she's going to lose the pound-for-pound spot
as well
to Valentina.
Yeah. Okay, so Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Question from Marcel. My Polish friend said Joanna's coming to 18 in January, start fight prep. Who might she be fighting? We don't know, but I'm guessing it's Carla. Or
yeah, that's my guess as well.
Or Marina. Hey, what's up, buddy? Pena had said she had people at ATT said she wasn't training. I don't think she was either. Called damn dude, she was. I think it's crazy because I thought she was talking shit the whole time, right, guys?
Yeah.
I don't think Amanda trained for this fight, like not to the extent that she should have been. Obviously, she trained to stay in shape. She made the weight, but Marcel, it didn't seem like the worst version of Amanda we've seen since Katzengano. Go ahead.
I was at another podcast earlier today, and someone said like it felt like that Amanda was really, and maybe this is not true, but it's just an observation, It's really busy with her kid, all the time. She's all the time in the gym, all the time, all the time with the kid. And of course, you're a parent, you want to hang out with your kid, obviously, But when you have to focus at something, it can be a distraction. Too. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's true, but that's just an observation.
No, it's something to keep in mind. Now, just quickly, I just want to touch on what you said earlier about the woman thing. There's a difference. There is. I mean, my fiance she gave birth 4 months ago. She's still sore. Your body changes. You know what I mean? Like Amanda didn't have to go through that. It's not, and it's a different situation. Her and Nina are together, 2 women. It's different, right? They're both good mothers, but they're different types of mothers. Pena's a different type of mother.
But the media is putting that out like it's something outrageous.
I don't think she's wrong. I mean, how can she be wrong? There's one of the biggest is I don't know. Listen, guys. There's fundamental difference between men and women. You know what I mean? And women that are, that gave birth and didn't. So it's just human. But if you want to forget about it, they want to forget that we're different men and women. Everyone wants to be the same thing these days.
Listen, I won't put anything on Twitter about it, but on the podcast, I just say what I think. I don't give a fuck anymore.
I don't think you're wrong. I think you're right. There's difference between having a child and being a parent, because I'm a dad myself. I didn't give birth. It's not easy though. But I'm not sitting here saying I'm the first dad champ. Anyways, Pena's never been TKO'd. Maybe, man. I mean, honestly, the odds are fair. I think it's about -300 now. I don't know, man. I mean, I think Pena. It's -300 for Amanda, I should say. Sorry, guys. I honestly don't. I mean, I think I'd have to pick Amanda because I feel like it was a fluke, honestly. But maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe Pena's the better fighter. What do you think, man?
I think we should see a rematch and we can decide at that moment, because
maybe you know what I mean? Maybe Amanda gets smoked. Maybe this is a bad matchup for her.
Listen, if she gets smoked, then she also loses, in my opinion, the GOAT title.
Yeah, and by the way, one other thing, and it's like I forget this, I'm sure other people have. She's also a champ at 145, guys. She still has another belt. Everyone's forgetting about this. She has another belt. She can just move up and fight in that division if she wants.
The last time she fought for the 135 belt was 2 years ago,
Yeah, she didn't wait in a while, right? It's been a while. And I think it was against Jermaine. I was at that fight, that boring one. Hey, Kevin, what's up, man? Oh, I was glad. Kevin was at the card. That's awesome, Kevin. I was glad to attend the event live. The pop read for Tubesa was unreal, even before the shooting. Dude, Kevin, I hope you put some money down because you know how much I liked him in that fight. Born Again, not sure Chevy would have broken you. She doesn't force the pace Pena does. I kind of agree with Born Again too, man. You're right. Styles do make fights, and Pena's pretty durable. She walks forward, and again, she lost those fights, right? Like to Jermaine, but she was winning the fight, until the submission, Marcel. So I don't know. It's interesting. Let's Swoosh Games. Hey, buddy, what's up? What was our favorite fight?
Too many to call, to be honest.
Pardon?
Too many to call, to be honest.
There's some really good finishes more so than fights, I would say. I know Munoz Cruz one fight of the night. It was a pretty good fight. For me, it's more like the moments, like the moment of Pena submitting Nunes or Oliveira taking the back. That's what I love.
I can tell you, I'm upset that Andre Muniz again didn't get a performance.
I know. We got to talk about him in a few minutes. We're going to talk about him. Glenn says we forget all the things. Dude, Glenn, I agree completely with you. Didn't I talk about this a few weeks ago, guys? I said I've been thinking about fights a little differently. Someone could just have a bad day at the office. It's like having a bad day at work, guys. She might have woke up on the wrong side of the bed and had a really shitty day and took a really shitty loss. We don't really know what happened. But we all have, and here's the thing, we all have jobs, right? We all have to go to work and perform. If you have a bad day, the world's not going to see it for the most part. But when you're a UFC fighter, you basically go to work 2 times a year, 3 times a year, Marcel. You have a bad off night, people are going to notice, so it's tough, especially because people have money on you too. Like people had probably millions of dollars on Amanda Nunes around the world. I mean, let's be honest.
Because she had a bad day.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel Powder, whatever his name is, Daniel Powder.
Exactly, yeah.
They used to play that song in Canada. Like, the media rematches never goes to time. Yeah, it's true. It's like it kind of reminds me of Joanna and Rose a little bit too. Because honestly, at the time, it surprised me that Joanna lost. But you saw what happened in the rematch, right? And she was the better fighter. Let's get some more comments here. We'll talk about that fight in a second, Swoosh. Pena possibly beating Val in a rematch, not far-fetched. Pena can make... she was against... she was doing well against Valerie. Against Valentina, excuse me. Not Valerie.
It's years ago, right?
It was like 4 or 5 years ago, but she was doing well in the armbar. She was doing well in the fight, though. Like, I want to say she was favored to win the fight, too.
She was. She was favored, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, Pena is... She's an interesting fighter. And it's like because she doesn't fight much, we kind of forgot about how good she can be. But she's so flaky, Marcel. She had when she lost to Jermaine. She was... No, actually, Valentina was the favorite. I'm wrong. Sorry. So Valentina was favorite. It was only a slight favorite. She was the underdog against Katzengano, though. And she was the underdog in this fight as well. And also, she was underdog against Sarah McMahon, which I did like her earlier this year. I picked her in that fight. So she's won a few times as an underdog. 3 times. I picked her in 3 of the fights. So that's pretty good, actually. Or sorry, 2 of them. Not this one, obviously. I did pick her in the other 2. She won as a dog. Not this one. All right, let's go to the next fight. Jeff Neal, Santiago Ponzinibbio. It was a close fight, man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Ponzinibbio edged it. I honestly had no idea, and I didn't care because to me it was just very close. Jeff Neal wins. I have no problem with that. Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's like we said last week. Will be super close fight, super 50-50 one. I picked Ponzinibbio in that fight, not during the fight, but before the fight, because I thought Neal had a lot of distraction coming into this fight, and that's what could have been the thing. But I scored it 2-1 for Neal, so I was okay with the decision. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with it either. Like I said, I thought it could go either way, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I just, either guy was going to win.
Agree
29-28. I don't agree with the 30-27. That's what I was going to say. That is
true.
A little odd. All right, let's go to the next fight. Kai Kara-France. We both picked it, baby. Both have this one. Underdog. Knocking out Cody Garbrandt. Yeah, the chain of Garbrandt just is awful. And I knew it was going to be bad at flyweight. I knew it, Marcel. Knocked out 4 times in his last 6 fights now. No chain at all. This is a bad move for him to move down this division. Kara-France was faster than him and more powerful. And Kai Kara-France, guys, he's a really underrated guy. 23-9-1 record. I mean, the guy has a lot. He has more experience than most guys in this division. Like, he has a lot of experience. The guy has a lot of power. 2 straight knockout wins. I picked him both the fights this year, so I've been on him. I like this guy a lot, Marcel. It was nice to cash on the underdog in this one. Give me your thoughts on this fight, man.
I like him as well, but he shouldn't have been in contention next for a title shot, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, he's been saying that. He needs to fight one more time, I'd say. He probably against
at least
Pantoja. Maybe that's the fight to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
So, he looks sharp. He knocked down Cody a few times or staggered him a few times, and then finished it first round. I think he looked really good. A deserved performance of the night bonus. And what else can you say, man? For Cody, man, I think this is his 5th loss in 6 fights or something. 4 times finish, 1 decision against Font, and that's more of Font as being a volume striker than he's a knockout going for the knockout. I don't know what you're going to do with Garbrandt now. If the UFC is nasty, they give him O'Malley next at bantamweight, and I see that happening, to be honest.
They might do it, and they had that fake stare down earlier this week.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, well, let's talk about his fight then. Let's talk about O'Malley. I'll get the question in a second, guys. Let's talk about O'Malley first. Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought this was going to be a knockout win for him. It's what happened. I know that you like Paiva, and the guy looked outstanding in the last fight, but there's levels to the game, obviously, and O'Malley's on a different level right now with the striking. So I thought he looked great, Marcel. He should be ranked in the top 15 now. Give me your thoughts on him.
Yeah, I expected Paiva to fight a little bit more smarter and not going to start to exchange with him on the feet, because I knew at that moment it's over. You're not going to do that. In my opinion, this is the first real legit win for Sean O'Malley. against a real legit opponent. I know he won against Wineland. I know he won against Almeida.
Yeah.
Wineland is a former WEC champion, but he was already on his way out, And Almeida, same thing. Huge talent, but also was on his way out, And Paiva was on a 3-fight win streak. We can talk about the close fight with Carlo Phillips, obviously, but still, he got that win. He was on a 3-fight win streak. And, I mean, he looked pretty good in many of his fights in the UFC. So this is, in my opinion, a big win for Sean O'Malley. I know many people still try to disregard it because they don't know Paiva, but this is a good win, man. We got to give him credit here. And I'm looking forward what's next. I would love to see him against Song Yadong, for example. I think that would be an amazing striking match. So yeah, that's what I would love to see, but I don't know what's the UFC going to do.
Yeah, I thought O'Malley looked great in this fight, though. Like, this was one of his better performances, I think. Like, he didn't take any damage at all, basically. And Paiva Paiva's a tough dude. For him to knock him out is impressive. Mm-hmm. Man, O'Malley, 6 bonuses in the last 7 fights. I mean, it's pretty fucking impressive, Marcel. Like, it really is, Like, you might not like the guy, but he's impressive.
True, but gotta be honest, some of those bonuses, it's really...
Yeah, because the Dana White likes him. I know, Dana White privilege, right? Let's be real. But yeah, I mean,
this one I had no problem with this one.
Yeah, he's good. Let me get some comments, guys. Where is it? JFM was talking about the last fight and the tie thing. Yeah, I couldn't believe it was supposed to be on the prelims originally on a fight Apex card. Cody versus Cruz too. You could do that fight. It'd be interesting. Garbrandt seems lost. His career's stuck. Do we want to see him fight O'Malley? Shouldn't O'Malley want an opponent? Here's the thing, Kevin. Garbrandt is actually ranked number 7 in the world right now, 135. I think they'll take him out of the rankings though because he fought 125, Marcel. But technically, he was top 10. He was ranked above all these guys, above Cruz even. So, I think he's out of the rankings now. But it would have made sense to call him out like a week ago. O'Malley or Dong, yeah, because that's the 15th guy, right? Frankie or Marlon. I think they're gonna try doing Frankie. They wanted to do it in New York, and remember O'Malley didn't want to fight in New York, so. Sugar Sean versus Seidner Magomedov. He's fighting Cody Stamen, as you said. O'Malley. I don't know. Yeah, if he knocked out Magomedov, I don't think they'll do that fight. But yeah, I think he's gonna get a top 15 guy again. Looking at the division, Song Yadong's right there, Frankie Edgar's right there, even Bear is right there. So one of those guys, or you can even do Marlon Moraes is number 10, and Sean O'Malley probably knocks him out. So that could do that fight too. He's gonna get a ranked opponent in his next fight. Now let's go to the prelims. Josh Emmett defeats Danny Ige. This was another super close fight, Marcel. Honestly, I thought it could go either way. Josh Emmett gets the win, which is fine with me because I picked him and really liked him to win the fight. I just wasn't sure watching. I thought it was super close. Good fight, but Emmett got the win. What do you think?
I 2-1 for Emmett. I think he got one on round 3, I think. Yeah, it was a good fight. 30-27. I didn't see that. I think one judge had that.
There was a judge that falls asleep halfway during the fight.
Was that Sal D'Amato, right?
Yeah, I didn't agree with that. The second round was clearly Danny Ige's. It came down to the third round in my opinion.
I always call him Sal D'Amaretto because he's, But, I mean, good win for Emmett, after coming back from injuries again. Yeah, I mean... The thing is, it sucks that he is injured so many times because he would have been higher in the division probably already if he hadn't.
So he's ranked number 7. He's going to fight someone above him. So I think it's going to be Arnold Allen and number 6. That kind of makes sense. But fuck, if they did Yair Rodriguez, the number 3 guy, I would love to see that fight, guys. That would be a sick fight. I know Yair's coming off the loss, but to me, it doesn't matter. You also could do Korean Zombie against Josh Emmett. That would be sick. That would be a sick fight. Fight of the night, Dominic Cruz defeats Pedro Munoz via decision. First round, all Munoz knocks him down. Then after that, Cruz just made the adjustments, man, and won the decision. I'm okay with them giving out extra bonuses. To me, it was a good fight, not a fight of the night. Personally, I would have given one to Andre Muniz and to like Julian Robertson, who had to fight some dirty cheater in the first fight. We'll talk about that fight in a few minutes. But it was a good fight, so I don't know if it was fight of the night personally, but it was a good fight. And Cruz, man, 2-0 now, and he's proving me wrong because he keeps winning. So thoughts?
First round, clear win for Munoz the first round, and Cruz came back perfectly second, third round. Pretty much almost vintage Dominic Cruz, right? Good footwork, looking solid, and that's what we like to see from Dominic Cruz when he fights, and a deserved win, a good comeback win. And what was that on the podcast, man, with Anik and Rogan saying like Munoz did his homework? It's like, do you really have to back up DC like that? Can't he do it himself? What's up with that? You heard it as well, I think. Yeah. I was like kind of petty, but yeah, whatever. But good win for Cruz, and I was happy to see that. Well, for Munoz, it sucks, man. I think he lost 4 of his last 5, and against all legit competition, So.
Yeah, no, Bruno's he's great. I mean, but you're right. He's 1-4, guys. But look who he lost to: Dominic Cruz, Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar, and Sterling. I mean, come on. And he's won 4 fight of the night bonuses. The guy's
and the Edgar fight.
Yeah, then he should have won that fight. We all thought he won that fight. Let's be honest. Third round should have been a draw. It could have been. I think he's talking about Edmund and Ige.
Yeah,
it was super close. All right, Tai Tuivasa. I mean, like I told you guys last week, how was he only -110? Augustin Sakai is not good. Let's be honest. He's not good at all. Got knocked out again. 3 straight knockout losses for Sakai. Pretty sure he's going to get cut, Marcel. And another huge win for Tai Tuivasa, man. The guy 4 straight wins by knockout now. Your thoughts on this and the Shui?
The first round, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be like a lot of cage pressing and that kind of stuff. And then the second round, Tai Tuivasa knocks him out. And man, he was out cold, you know.
Yeah.
And great win for Tuivasa. When he needed, and he's probably back in the top 50 now. So
he is. He's already in there, man. I think he's going to be like top. Let me take a look.
Yeah, he's not in there right now. No, he isn't in there right now.
Wow, he wasn't. Okay, no. But this guy was ranked
10, I think. Sakai
11th. So he'll be in the top. He'll just be Yep.
Like I said last week to you, man, these guys probably want to fight either Sakai or Abdurakhimov because these are high in the rankings in the heavyweight division.
Good. Not good. I'm with you. It's just weird because he might be ranked above Spivak, who beat him, obviously. So
yeah,
it's one of those weird things. Bruno Silva defeats Jordan Wright by knockout. I mean, this one we all saw coming too.
I have a fun story about that one. So I was texting with a friend of mine, and I was like, dude, if this fight goes over 2 minutes, I'm putting on my Christmas sweater next time we're doing a podcast. So he's like, okay, I take that bet. I was like, I'm not going to lose this bet. I'm sure I'm not going to lose this bet. He's like, are you sure? I said, yes. So after 1 minute, I think 1 minute 40 seconds, fight was over. And I was like, I told you. He's like, fuck.
Yeah, if you bet on Jordan Wright, just bet at the under because this guy's never been over the total before. He's only been out of the first round twice. He's a glass cannon, Jordan Wright. He's got some power, but he has no chin whatsoever. None. No chin, Marcel, at all. Bruno Silva, man, that's another win for this guy. 7 straight wins by knockout, 3 in the UFC. Guy's been impressive, man. I'm 2-1 picking his fights this year, so I think I have a decent read on this guy. He's powerful, strong. I still thought that Sanchez fight was not going his way until it wasn't, so he's an impressive guy, man, Bruno Silva, Marcel. And how old is he? He's only 30? 32, so kind of in the prime of his career now, I would say. You know, they got to give him someone. I think he gets a top 15 guy, maybe. He's close to it, I would say. The problem with the top 15 is right now middleweight. It's fucked up because I'm looking at the ranking. It's like Chris Weidman's in there, Kevin Holland in there. Come on. Where's Andre Muniz? Where's Bruno Silva? Like, these are the guys that should be there. Go to the comments.
Maybe Dricus Duplessis?
That guy should be there. Why is Chris Weidman in the top 50 or Edmund? Why are they in the top 15? So stupid. Nunes paying 145. I would like to see that, Andrew. And how's it going, by the way, man? Tuivasa versus Tabura Rosenstrike. Yeah, I think Rosenstrike. And if they fight first, so hopefully he doesn't do the frozen strike as we talked about. Good matching. They have really rebuilt the guy and they've did a good job. Bruno Silva, 6 months, 3 UFC fights. Muniz, 2 years, 4 UFC fights. They're keeping the guy busy. And with Muniz, I'm not sure why he took time off. But anyways, let's talk about him now.
By the way, and Bruno Silva was longer than UFC, but he had a 2-year suspension. Right. By the way, Rosenstrike, do you know what that means if you translate it in English?
No.
A bush with roses.
That's funny. No, I mean, actually, yeah. Anyways, let's go to the next fight. So we'll talk about Muniz now. I think he should have got another bonus. I think he should have gone against Jacare. So to me, this guy's getting robbed of 50,000. What the fuck? What does this guy have to do to get a bonus, guys?
He now got robbed of 100K in total, in my opinion.
The thing is, this is the first time that Eric Anders has been submitted. Like, to me, that's super impressive. Eric's a tough dude, man. Yeah, arm bars him, dude. It was beautiful. Andre Muniz is next level. You guys know I liked him. I couldn't believe the odds were so closer to this fight, too. I just didn't see what to like about Anders. He's a decent fighter, but he's not even close. Andre Muniz is a legitimate top 15 guy. I can't believe he's not ranked.
I knew when he got the armbar submission, I knew they weren't giving him another bonus because they didn't give him one in the Jacare fight. You know,
if you don't give him one for breaking Jacare's arm, like I know what you're saying.
I mean, what the hell? Doesn't make sense. Plus,
guy's a beast, though, man.
When he had Anders down or back, I was watching with my dad the first fight. I was like, it's over, you know. And Anders still went up, but he took his arm, you know. And Muniz is so good on the ground, man. I mean, you got to be good on the ground if you submit Jacare. You know what I mean? So,
for sure, he's great. I've been nothing
Muniz
impressed.
should
He has
fight
been knocked out
somebody in
4
the top
times in his
15.
career. What did you
Yeah.
say? What?
Muniz should fight somebody in the top 15
Yeah,
next.
I was gonna say he's been knocked out 4 times in his career, but he hasn't been knocked out in 5 years since
Mhm.
Berzakanov did it. The guy's been on a roll. Absolutely needs a top 50 opponent. I mean, get him the top. The guy's great. All right, another underdog. We both picked her, man. Bang, we both loved her, Erin Blanchfield. And Marcel, the fight wasn't even close. Like, it was complete domination from bell to bell. Miranda Maverick's a good prospect. Me and Marcel both like her, but Erin Blanchfield's next level. And I can't believe, again, she was plus 120 odds. Crazy. She made it look so easy. She should have been about minus 500, obviously. Just kidding, obviously. But give me your thoughts, guys. All right, Marcel, give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, you know what I think about her. I told you, even when she wasn't in the UFC yet, that she should go do her thing in the UFC. And man, it was super dominant, man. She looked so good. I also tweeted out, like, I didn't want to tweet it last time, but I tweeted right now that I think she will be for sure a UFC champion someday. I didn't want to give a time frame. I think even it can be soon. You know,
I think so too. I think she's got the skills, man, because she's got the like heavy grappling, top control, and she's nasty. Like, she's always working. Great cardio. Right now, Valentina's too much for her, I would say, but like in a few years, I think Erin could match her, man. I really do. So I'm with you, Marcel.
If you match her up with Jessica Eye right now, I pick Erin Blanchfield.
Oh, I said the same thing on the weekend. I'm like, she should be in the top 15 right now and in the top 10 because Eye is ranked number 9. Blanchfield beats her easily. If they do that fight, Blanchfield should be minus 300. Edmund's getting dropped out of the ranks. He would be. Bruno got rocked. It was scary for a second. He'd get rocked because Jordan's got some power, but Jordan's got no chin. Yeah, the UFC bonus system definitely favors the knockout guys rather than submissions, which is stupid. That was one of the only good things. Yeah, and that too, because the lower fighters didn't get the bonuses here either. But I'm saying back in the day, obviously they did knockout the night, submission of the night. So if you got a submission, you're almost like there wasn't as many, so you get a really good chance to get a bonus. Yeah, Muniz and Anders. I agree. I don't know why they made that fight. I know it was short notice, I guess. Muniz and Dawkins. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I agree with this. There should be a finish bonus. Muniz versus Brad Tavares. That sounds good. Bruno versus Duplessis. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful, Kevin. She's just an absolute monster on the ground. Fair play. Yeah, we loved her, Daniel. I loved her in this fight. This is one of my better cards of the year, I would say, honestly, for picks and stuff, like just reading the fights. Hold on to Maverick not getting finished. Yeah, I think so too. Blanchfield. Dude, I'm with Kevin too. I think she could beat a lot of girls, like even the top, 5, top 10 girls right now. But she's only 22, so she'll keep getting better. All right, next fight, Ryan Hall against Derek Minder. To me, Marcel, it was kind of a weird fight to predict, but it just came down to me. Like, I'm like, who's the better grappler? It's probably Ryan Hall against the guy with 8 submission losses. He didn't get the submission, Marcel, but he attempted 7 submissions in the fight, according to the stats. So Derek Minder actually improved his submission defense, but still lost the fight. So give me your thoughts on this one.
Every time if Ryan Hall wins a decision, he's like, yeah. Like, I won.
Weird.
Yeah, I remember when I posted a fight announcement of his first picture of the Ultimate Fighter, and somebody said under the comment, like, Ryan Hall always looks like he lost his guinea pig. So I was laughing about that one. But man, Ryan Hall, yeah, he's good on the ground. We all know that. And yeah, he deservedly won the fight, And James Cross in the corner of Derek Minder, he went kind of crazy, man, in this fight. He was like, it didn't went how we wanted it, and
yeah. Derek, James was pissed because Derek kept taking him down. He's like, "Why are you taking him down? Why aren't you staying?" Derek Minder's got a low fight IQ. We'll say that. Now the next fight. So honestly, it's what we called, but we just made the wrong prediction because Will said if Randy doesn't get the first round finish, he's going to get finished himself, which is what happened.
Yeah.
Tony Kelly, man, the guy drives from Louisiana to Las Vegas, 20-hour drive, Marcel. Everyone's counting the guy out, and then he goes in there and finishes Randy Costa. My thought on this fight is, Kelly looked good, and he's obviously a really, really tough dude with good cardio, and I'm not surprised he won. But what surprised me was Randy Costa looked so bad in this fight. Like, even in the first round, Marcel, he didn't do anything that he did against Yanez where he was looking amazing on the feet, like some of the best striking we've seen. He did nothing of that, and then gassed out after like 2 minutes. Like, he was huffing and puffing after 2 minutes. I know Randy's got not good cardio, but I was shocked how quick he gassed out when he didn't do anything in this fight. It wasn't an explosive action. He just gassed out. What'd you think, man?
Yeah, man. I think, let's be honest here, man. Andrea Lee looked good in her last fight. Tony Kelly looked good in this fight. Maybe they found the right way, you know what I mean, with each other. I was surprised, to be honest, that Randy didn't look the way I expected him to look. I know, like we said last time, that he has cardio issues. We saw that in the fight against Yanez, but I didn't saw this happening. That happened on Saturday like this. And for Randy Costa, man, I hope he gets another fight, and I hope he gets. And it's difficult because Tony Kelly is not a top guy in the division to be. He's just a really hard worker, in my opinion, and a guy who is really tough. But he's not the top of the division. Maybe he can become a player. I don't know, but at this moment, not. And for Randy Costa, I really saw the talent. I still see the talent in him. Don't get me wrong, but dude, he has to fix some stuff, And I hope he gets another chance from the UFC. But I have no idea who I should match him up with next. To be really honest.
It's crazy these guys were both on that show Cage back in the day, eh? Mm-hmm. Sorry, Matt Schnell and him and Tony Kelly. It was an old show on MTV. 4 guys were on the show. 2 of them made it in the UFC 9 years later, remember. That is insane. So that's pretty really cool.
I was so sad Matt Schnell against Alex Perez got canceled off the card.
I was just going to say, we have to talk about that. So the fight got canceled. I was disappointed, to say the least, man. Weren't you?
Yeah, really. I talked to Alex after, I think 5 minutes after that came out. I was like, dude, seriously? And he's like, yeah, man, I can't believe it. Super unfortunately. He also didn't make weight, by the way, Alex. But he was like, man, I can't believe it. Like,
I was going to say, so he didn't make, he came in at 126.25, right? Yeah. So did he get a second chance to go back in or no?
I haven't asked him, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. There's a lot of there's like some miscommunication about that because some of the MMA websites said that he missed weight, which I thought he did, but some of them said he made weight later on, which I didn't see because I thought they took the scale. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The fight got canceled because apparently Matt Schnell puked
again.
He puked? This happened to him before?
I mean, Matt Schnell pulled out last time.
Oh no, I know this fight's been canceled. Yeah, I'm just saying, like I heard he puked backstage or something, and the commission member saw him. So
fucking sucks, man.
A lot of guys puke after the weigh-ins. Obviously, it's just unfortunate that the commission saw him, and if he did it in his hotel room, they wouldn't have known, right?
Yeah, by the way, I'm not want to be a dick, but all best wishes to Matt Schnell. By the way, I hope.
I hope he feels better. I mean, I'm disappointed the fight got canceled too. That was going to be a good one. And these guys are going to have to wait till next year. The fight's been canceled twice already this year, so it's rough. Let's go with some more questions, guys. Ryan Hall here fails to improve. He's okay. He's decent. Good grappling. I've heard some lot of things about Costa's mindset. Now you realize the possibility. What'd you hear, Daniel? I was disappointed when I saw it. Man, I couldn't believe the guy got so quick. Yeah, it's true, Glenn. You're right, Glenn. The guy's definitely got some explosion, but you're right. I mean, he's not proven yet, I just thought after basically beating up Yanez for 5 minutes, that would have did something good in this fight, but it wasn't. Yeah, I'm just disappointed by Randy, Daniel. And JFM has asked you a question for Marcel. Why Melvin never signed UFC?
It's actually pretty easy to declare. He was fighting at a certain moment at Strikeforce against Robbie Lawler, and Dana was watching that fight. He said it later, and he was destroying Lawler with low kicks.
Yeah, that fight it's a classic fight. Go watch that if you haven't.
And Lawler knocks him out with one punch knockout, and it was over. And I think that pretty much screwed things up for Manhoef to go over to the UFC. Yeah. So yeah.
No, I think so too. I mean, man, I remember that whole fight was like viral. Like that KO was viral. I don't know if it's on YouTube. I used to watch it on YouTube all the time. Like those old Strikeforce fights.
I think you can find it on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch all those old Strikeforce fights a lot. Yeah, Melvin's definitely a talented guy. All right, last fight we didn't talk about yet. I want to get your thoughts on the dirty shooter, Priscilla Cachoeira. So first off, misses weight by 3 pounds, probably in purpose, so she didn't have to kill herself to make the weight. Also to get a few extra pounds of muscle, Marcel, and strength to keep the fight standing, but gets taken down right away. Fence grab, no point deduction, missed weight, and then she started poking Robertson in the eyes during the rear naked choke at the end. So Robertson gets the finish with 1 second left, but Priscilla, really dirty tactics, Marcel. I don't blame her, though. I'll say that. I don't blame her because you can cheat a lot in this sport, man. People do it every single fight, get away with it almost every fight, So I don't blame her for cheating, Marcel, but it's dirty, and the eye poke was pretty uncalled for. So, yeah, I mean, she's 2-4 in the UFC, guys. Would it surprise me if she got cut? Wouldn't surprise me. Go ahead.
By the way, the referee was Chris Toyoni. I just wanted to mention that. Twice she did it to Robertson on the ground. First in the eye, then she got out, and then she did it again. Twice, And I think that's blatant, obvious, and very disrespectful as well as disgrace. Actually, she did it. So I think she got cut. Definitely with the weight whiz as well. It's actually a funny story. Earlier today, I had a Dutch podcast, and that the Dutch podcast, Gilbert Eiffel is on it as well. So we were like the guy who leads the podcast and me is like, Gilbert, what did you think about the eye poke? And he starts laughing. He's like, I knew you guys was going to ask me that. So he's like, do you remember the Don Fry fight where he also eye poked Don Fry during the fight in Pride? So he's like, yeah, but that was my brother back then. That wasn't me. He's like, no, man, if you're young, you do stupid things. It's uncalled for, and it's horrible. And it was horrible. Let's be honest. You don't do that. I mean, I know what an eye injury is, and you don't want to have a finger in your eye, and definitely not deliberately. So I think, listen, I have nothing against Cachoeira, but she should get cut. The only if it's not because of the weight cut, is because of this. That's my opinion.
She's just not that good of a fighter, honestly.
No, true.
She's kind of lousy. She has some power, but she has no takedown defense. I mentioned earlier they gave out 8 bonuses, which is nice of Dana, But I mean, they're always bragging about how much money they're making now. My biggest problem is, guys, I'm gonna give you an example. It's UFC 269, right? Like, if you go back to even UFC like 100, the bonuses were so much more. They were 100,000. UFC 129 was 129,000.
Yeah.
But even there was fights like Diego Sanchez and Martin Kampmann, where Dana was like, "Oh my God, fight of the year," and gave him like 150,000. Remember, Marcel?
Yeah.
Now the bonuses are 50,000, and it's been like that for like 8 years or whatever. And I feel like there's it's got to be raised up now, guys.
The richer they get, the more scrooge they get. You know what
That's
I mean?
What I'm saying. So, like, the UFC, man, Dana. Listen, here's the thing. You only got one life, right? You only have one life to live. Dana's living his life the best he can. He doesn't give a shit what the government's going to say eventually, because eventually I don't think they're going to be able to get away with this, Marcel. Like, they're not paying the athletes enough compared to the revenue they're taking in. But so far, they haven't gotten in trouble from it. Marcel? Like, they're allowed to do this. So
Adam,
it's smart.
Favorite moment probably of the night, Dana being upset when a journalist asked him if the fight between Adesanya and Whitaker was real, because Adesanya said it wasn't real. He's like, did we ever lie about fights? I was like, yeah, you did, dude. And nobody calls him out on it. All media members are like, no, you never did that. You never did that.
That's funny.
It's like, my God.
But yeah, I just think the bonuses need to be more, because, like, again, they went to the standard 50,000 a little while ago. I think it was in 2014, because I'm looking even 2013, the Gilbert Melendez, Diego Sanchez, they won 60,000 each for their fight, which was an amazing fight. I just think the bonuses should be more. So yeah, it seems like great because it's they gave out 400,000 in bonuses, Marcel, but it's really not that great, Marcel. Like, it's nice, but it's like they're calling Dana White Santa Claus, but come on, guys. Like, Dana's not he's not really a generous guy. Like, Dana's a smart guy, he's a great businessman. Dana, if the sport wouldn't be here without him where it is today, but Marcel, the pay is still a huge issue in the sport. I love the sport. And Glenn, you know what it is, Glenn? And Felicia Spencer said this last week. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to be on TV and a couple times a year. That's what it is. It's a sport, but only to a certain extent, Glenn. It's more of an opportunity, MMA, And I think there's certain fighters that they realize that. There's a lot that don't realize that yet, but the ones that have, they make the most of it. It's you get that 15 minutes on TV twice a year. You got to make the most of it, and you try to use your person to build your brand outside of the sport too. That's what the UFC's giving you. The UFC's giving you the platform. The money should be more, Glenn, but I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing now, guys. And I've been in the sport for a long time, but now I'm seeing that it's not as much of a sport as it's an opportunity. I mean, that's quite. I hate to say it, Marcel, because I love it, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Yeah. Daniel said he had 2 parlays that cash. Good job, buddy. Glad Kelly won. Won't be an underdog next time. He's easy fade. He's not that good, honestly. He's an okay fighter, though. It's okay. Hey, John, what's up? Got banned from Twitter. Why? Why did you get banned from Twitter? What did you say, John? You obviously did something. They don't just randomly ban people. I don't think they do. I know on Instagram they ban people all the time. We were 100% give Cody. 100% they were, John. They were going to give him the title shot. He's saying give Carl France the fight against Ashcroft. You could do that. You could. I'm okay with them doing that. It's not a problem with it. I don't have a problem with that fight at all. The fighters would definitely get more money in the NHL type bargaining system. Current system stay for a long time to come. It's true, low, middle, upper class. It's true. Like, why would Connor or like John Jones or whatever? Why would they try to help the little guys making $12,000 in the pre-owned? They don't care. They don't care, guys. They don't care. Just like you guys don't probably care about other, your coworkers making. They don't care either. The only thing that would ever happen, in my opinion, is if the government had intervention in this. If the government came in and said, you got to change the way the sport is being, you're paying the guys and the Ali Act and all that stuff. UFC will not change anything until we're forced to. Spam and platform manipulation, tweeting UFC and LFA hat tags. No idea, John. Someone reported you. Some wimp reported you because you disagree with their picks. You said that John probably picked Cara Francis, so Cody Garbrandt fanboy got him reported, Marcel.
Yeah.
Born again is 271 getting good fights under Izzy Rob 29. No, I don't think so. So I was looking at that this morning. Born again. I started looking ahead at next week's, Saturday's card. And then I started looking. I didn't get bored or anything, but I just started looking ahead at the other events, and I'm like looking 270. It's got a lot of fights on, but 271. It's like I'm with this guy. It's a weak card. Like right now, it's Izzy and Whitaker, and the next big fight in the card would be Tyler Phillips and Rojo. Oh my god!
I think Roxanne Modafferi against Casey O'Neill likely,
or Casey O'Neill and Roxanne. But they're going to add something else. This is still in February. So,
by the way, why is the UFC putting Greg Hardy again on the main card?
Yeah, my funny Anita, my fiance, she's like, why is Olynyk opening up the main card? She's like, this guy's old and gets knocked out every fight. I started laughing. I go, look who's fighting, babe. They want him to get a knockout. That's what they want, Marcel. They want, and Marcel, I'm pretty sure Hardy's going to knock the guy out too. Like, I don't know why Olynyk's staying another fight, guys. He's 44, lost 3 straight fights. He honestly shouldn't be fighting anymore, but they gave him another fight. And see if there's any other comments here. Kevin, MMA managers are useless. Kevin, you're not wrong, man. I know you say it a lot of the time. It's true. It is true.
Gotta say, there are some good ones, man. There are some good ones.
Kevin, sorry. There are, like, what's his name? What's your guy's name? I can't remember. A Paradigm guy. What's his name again?
Paradigm is Tim Simpson.
No, who's your guy? Sorry, Iridium. Who's your guy?
Iridium is Jason House.
Sorry, Jason House. I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, he's solid. I think Jason does a good job, but in general, Marcel, the problem with the sport is they don't make enough money where they need a manager. That's what it comes down to. Because if you're making $10,000 a fight and you give away 10% or 20% to your manager, you're in trouble already. You're probably going to end up paying to fight. That's the problem. So I think there are some good ones, Kevin. Like, as much as I hate to say it, Ali Abdelaziz sure seems to do, get his guys good fights and good contracts. But in general, the problem with the sport is there's just not enough money to need really good management. So, like, I've seen people say, like, in the future, the sport's going to have better managers coming in and stuff. I don't think so, unless there's a huge, realignment of how the sport and the money is doled out. But right now, it's like, basically, if you're a manager, you're basically trying to look for the next Conor McGregor. You don't need a guy like, you don't want Priscilla Cachoeira. Why would you even want to work with her? You know what I mean? And get her $2,000 twice a year. It doesn't even make sense, really. So it's kind of like big fish in the small pond syndrome, I think. Let's get some comments here, guys. Marcus, one of my favorite guys here, just tuned in. Hate they missed the show. Go back and watch it, Marcus. You'll enjoy it. Who do you guys think stock dropped the most from 269?
Cody Garbrandt. I think Cody Garbrandt.
Or Cody, yeah. I'd say Amanda because she gave up so easily. She basically quit. Cody, I would say I already knew his chin was gone, but he did.
Many people still expected him to win, dude.
Yeah,
many people.
I think Miranda Maverick looked pretty bad in her fight. Again, I think Blanchfield's really good, but Marcel, she got dominated for 15 minutes. Randy Costa looked really bad in his fight. I thought probably one of the worst performances. Honestly, you might disagree, but Poirier outside that first round didn't look too good in the fight. I don't know what you thought. Like, I don't think he looked.
I agree with you.
Terrible, but he didn't look that good in this fight. And again, Marcel, did I not say he's been fighting strikers, guys? He's fighting guys like Conor, who are easy fights for him. Now you can't fight a guy with the grappling like Charles. Because Charles is well-rounded now. He can strike too. That's the problem. He's just so well-rounded. John says he wants him to get 150. It'd be nice to see him beat Greg Hardy. I mean, I don't think a lot of us are fans of Greg. Greg's a big heel. People want to see him lose. And that's my initial thoughts, Born Again. I think he'll probably knock him out. I mean, Alexi, though, gets that body lock, gets him down, gets mount position, can Ezekiel him in a second. And Kevin says Ali gets his fights, guys, doesn't get him paid. Fair enough. So that's it for UFC 269. I mean, it was a phenomenal card, Marcel. You know what? You guys want to hear something crazy? So you guys know I like DraftKings, right? So there's a pool, Marcel. It's called the Mini Max. It's you could buy 150 entries for $1 each, right? There's 59,000 people in the pool. The first place prize is 5,000, which already number one shows you you have to get first place of 59,000 to win that money, right? I came in 9th place, and I only won $125, which is insane to me that I beat out 59,000 something other people only got $100. Isn't that crazy? So it just shows you how hard the DFS stuff's to win. It is to win, guys. I did come in first place in a smaller tournament and won some monies, which was nice. But those big tournaments, I mean, I had almost every fight nailed to correct in this card except for Pena and Kelly. And someone had Pena and Kelly, and they won a lot of money on this weekend. It's like, who would even pick those guys? You know what I mean? Like, who would even have picked Pena and Kelly, and then they would have had, I think they would have had Oliveira, they would have had Cara France too. So it's like, it's hard to win. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that out there. It's like, I'm happy that I came in 9th out of 59,000, but how could I only win $100 now? That blows my mind, It's crazy. Anyways, let's get some comments here. Marcus says, you guys think Nunes lost any impact on UFC's interest in Kale Harrison? I do. Because I think you can still do that fight at 145, but I watched the press conference today. Dana looked absolutely upset, like that the fight that they wanted to make is not happening now, Marcel. The UFC was probably planning on having Kayla and Amanda next, I would assume. I don't think it's happening now.
Yeah, man, you saw Kayla's reaction as well. I mean,
she's going to PFL anyway.
Yeah,
she's going back to PFL.
People are weird, man. They are like, oh, Miesha Tate, she said Pena was going to win. That's amazing. Miesha Tate trained with Pena, and they are friends for such a long time. It's like when Adam fights against. What should I say? It's like when Adam's going to fight Glover Teixeira, and I'm saying, yeah, Adam's going to win, man, for sure. I'm backing him. Adam's going to win, because Adam is my friend, so I'm backing him. He's going to win, That's what Tate does. Tate is is a very good friend with Pena, so she's backing her. It's pretty obvious. And by the way, Adam, don't look so sad. I'm definitely backing you against Glover.
No, I agree. By the way, I just like Kevin Lee signed with Khabib's promotion.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just saw that. That's crazy, eh? Guy went from top 10 of the UFC to
by challenging Khabib to sign with his promotion, right? Yeah. I mean, if they offer him good money, why not?
Chiesa by TKO, which what Chiesa? Who's he talking about? Is he talking about someone else or?
Chiesa, what he got?
He owned someone, right? Who did he own? Or no, the cop. He got in a fight with some cop. He was drunk, apparently. That's hilarious, Glenn. I just remembered that happened. Yeah. Kayla's also fair Nunes. Yeah, it's true. I don't think that fight. I don't know if it was ever even going to happen, Bornian, honestly. It's just Dana White talking. John says he watched Cage Warriors. Dominic Whitting, Figlack Brothers, and Christian Leroy Duncan. Yeah, actually, my Cage Warriors picks were decent because I did the opening odds and I was kind of like looking at the fights. I kind of felt like I kind of knew those cards well. Those guys do a good job. And those guys you're probably going to see a few of those guys in the UFC. You know what I mean, Marcel? Like, they always send people over.
Cage Warriors is like LFA, but then
it's basically like the European version of LFA. Yeah. All right, Marcel, that's it for today. Let's get out of here. We're going to be back here tomorrow, guys, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to break down the last card of the year, Dawkins and Lewis. So that's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. But until then, Marcel, plug yourself. Let's get out of here.
Big Marcel 24, Twitter, Instagram, MMADNA.nl, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at MMAOB Podcast, MMAOddsbreaker.com, YouTube. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, all those places. Obviously, I'm also available at MMAOddsbreaker.com and MMAnews.com. Got a new home for the full time now, bookies.com. It's a really cool website, man. Love it, guys. So I'm just doing sports betting content. It's awesome. I'm doing like promotions for like sports books. Work really closely with like DraftKings, Caesars, FanDuel, all these sports books. So right up my alley. You guys know I love that stuff. So it's great. I still get to do the podcast myself. So things are going really well. And I hope you guys have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Break down UFC Vegas 45, Lewis Dawkins.